What is good, everyone, and welcome back to another Gran Turismo 7 video. Today we have the Nations Cup race around Sardegna. We're going to find out what is the main thing, the main tactic that can really affect how you could have performed around here. As you can see, I've not shown qualifying here because we did absolutely abysmally, and we started off in P13, quickly up to P12 as the Spanish driver on our right decided he didn't want to start the race. And this first half a lap here is probably one of the most chaotic starts to a race I've had in a very long time. So heading into turn 1 here, we go to the outside. The South African goes a bit, so we could have used that, but we decided to stay back a bit. Higuet on the right, and there's a lot of carnage and tapping all in that first corner, but thankfully we all get through it unscathed. Sitting pretty in 10th place. Heading down into the 4th corner here, breaking out the 50 metre board. We go a bit more deeper, so the right hand side of the South African, then get down his inside, and now we're behind Fireborn here. And I'm going to stop it right here because what you're about to see does have a disclaimer coming with it. Viewer discretion is advised. What you're about to see is absolutely horrendous. I'm just going to let this play out. Yes, you did see that right. I did send both those two to Narnia. I completely forgot to look at my map and see that they were down on my inside. And for good measure, Vins also hits the wall and hits into me on the exit here. But if you are enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the like button down below. If you could subscribe and turn notification bells on for whenever I next upload, that would be greatly appreciated as well. Looking to try and get a bit more consistent content out for you guys. I keep saying this. I promise soon enough it will become more consistent. But anyway, heading up into the latter half of the lap, we got a big old battle up in front of us for P3. We decide we're going to back out, take a nice easy run into this corner so we get a good exit, and both British drivers in front of us going a bit more defensive, so we go back to the racing line, break at 100 metres. Unfortunately, I don't have my map up, so I'm having to guess who's on my inside, give space. Thankfully, we're doing a nice move around the outside of both the British drivers, and we just move over to the left, trying to make sure that we can squeeze in front of the British driver Fireborn here, and we thankfully do. And we're able to get a nice line into this corner and bring it through, and it looks like we're actually going to stay ahead, and we've actually gained quite a lot. So a great lap there, moving up from P13 to P4, great gain of 9 places there, so that's a fantastic first lap. Onto the second lap now, heading up to this very difficult left-hander, and as you can see, P2 went wide there, hit the wall. I also went wide and hit the wall, and Fireborn's going to come down our outside, overtake us. We've got 2 people behind us also trying to overtake us, but we managed to judge the braking zone right and stay in 5th place. Moving on to the start of lap 3 here, we actually decide we're going to push Fireborn here to try and get closer to the top 3, and we both brake here. I broken way too late, so does Fireborn. We kind of stay on circuit, we actually don't ghost here, and the British driver hits us, which puts us even further into the gravel trap. And unfortunately, the ghosting system there decided to work against us rather than for us, and we've all the positions we gained, we've just absolutely just thrown to the wayside with that horrendous move, and almost going into the gravel trap again. And as you can see, we've got a familiar car behind us. This Mr. Krabs was the person that we mistakenly threw off on this straight before, and he's served us with a bit of karma by sending us into the barrier and retaking the position back. Somewhat fair. I kind of didn't see him on that first lap, so yeah. But heading into the last hairpin here before the end of the lap, the Czech driver actually gets caught up on the curb, and we actually get a much better exit and overtake him. We give him a little squeeze to try and make his corner a bit narrow. He backs out of it, so we're able to both get a nice line through here. He's right up our chuff here, but we managed to keep it on the straight. Going further into the lap here, he's looking to kind of make a move down to the inside. Goes a bit soft. Leaves the inside, and as you can see, Vins in the rear view there just barges his way past the Spanish driver. Was not given a damn about how the Czech driver wanted to take that corner. And as we go up to the long hairpin after the straight here, we absolutely bottle the braking zone and go right into the grass, and that's going to put us right back into the clasps of the grasps of the Czech and Spanish driver here, and into the last hairpin, me and Krabs here decide that we don't want to brake early or on time, we want to brake late, and we both lose position to the Spanish driver, and I've also now lost another position to Sisu, the Italian driver here. So this race, for the first slot of this Nations Cup, is gone not as well as you would have liked, but we're getting back in the slipstream here with the Italian driver, and somehow we actually get a really nice slipstream and get right up to the top end of the speed for P6 there, and we brake. Krabs actually hit Sisu there to push wide, and then we managed to get through that unscathed, going on to the end of lap 6, start of lap 7 here, onto the back of the Spanish driver, Vince. We're gonna try and see if we can make a late move. We brake, he's moving across, we can still find a gap, barge our way down, getting our elbows out, being very forceful, and Czech driver hits into the Spanish driver, who hits into us, and it's all a bit chaotic at the start of lap 7 here. The Spanish and Czech driver going side by side. It looks like the Czech driver's actually got ahead. We've broken a bit late just to make sure that we don't get hit from behind, and Czech driver nearly went for a move down the inside, but we covered that off, and he's now back in the battle with the Spanish driver behind. But moving on to lap 9, we've had a big long battle with the Czech driver. He's going down the inside to the hairpin here. He's broken a bit late, and I've slightly tapped him. I will say, looking back on that in hindsight, I probably should have given him the place back there. That was a bit mean, but he also did outbrake himself, so it's kind of a 50-50 on that one. Sometimes you give it back, sometimes you won't, depends on how it goes. So for a first slot there on Nations Cup, we actually finished in P10, I think that was. So it was okay. It was an okay race. But moving on to the second slot now. As you can see, we've got a fine day to die. It's an interesting name. Hard speed in second, and what do you see? It's me in third with 51.9. It was actually quite a decent lap for someone who only about an hour of trying this circuit. I actually was quite happy with that lap in that qualifying, but still I knew there was plenty of time I could have gained here. But on the side, we decided to try and get off in second gear. It kind of worked, but we just managed to maintain position here. Slight tap on the outside, which means we tap hard speed, and we go around the outside of hard speed here, kind of losing the back end, but we managed to get past him, getting into P2 at the start of this race. We open the outside for hard speed to go in, but he doesn't take it, so we just maintain position here behind Fine, and it's actually a good start to this race. We want to try and make sure that we don't allow the British driver in front of us to get too far ahead. As you can see, he's gone a bit wide there, but not as wide as us, and we've actually screwed up our exit there as well completely, and the Italian went way too deep. Tried to go down our inside, lost the braking zone, but we managed to keep second place here, thankfully. Onto lap 2, heading up to the fast left-hander here. As you can see, the British driver, we've caught up a tiny bit. We've hit the inside wall and then hit the outside wall, and the Swiss has hit us and managed to get through. So we've lost the position now, unfortunately. And onto the start of lap 3 here. We're looking quite pretty. We've got about half a second ahead of the British driver in front of us, about a second to the Swiss, but unfortunately the British driver, Badger, decided that the braking zone was about 50 metres later than what it should have been, and decided that we were going to have to be used as a braking force for him. And that's put us from a pretty third place all the way down to P11. And we've had to spend the next 2 laps trying to catch up to the top 10. And as you can see, the Czech driver here, MM Racing, gets a bit wide and hits the curbing on the inside, pushes his car to the left, and we managed to nip down his inside and get 10th place there with quite relative ease. And as you can see up ahead, there's 2 cars going side by side. Badger's also spun off, but Soggy Biscuits has taken the Scott Biscuits, sorry, not Soggy Biscuits. What am I calling him that for? Scott Biscuits actually gets ruined going side by side there and gets put in the pit lane, and that's his race, absolutely ruined. Going up into the fast left-hander here behind Poofy. We both hit the wall. I followed him into the wall there. That wasn't what I wanted to do, and we've just allowed the Czech driver to get right back through us. So and in our attempts to try and close up the gap, we've actually outbroken ourselves and lost even more time. to the drivers ahead. Going back up, we've got to make sure that we kind of get this corner a bit better. We try and make sure we don't hit the inside, and instead of hitting the inside, we go on the grass on the outside. That swing pushed us all the way to the far left of the track. The French driver did well to avoid us, and going into the hairpin, we stay line astern, staying in behind the French driver here. Going up to the start of lap 8, we've got a bit of a hit there onto the Frenchman. That's not what I wanted to do, and I definitely eased off on the throttle just to let him back through, because that was in no way a fair move. And coming to the end of the race, we got 10th place. I think we got 8th place in the first one actually, and then we got 10th place in this one, so a lot to work on. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we do after this race. We do a lot of work, but as you can see here, Badger at the end here actually does apologise, because he knows what he did wrong, and fair play to him. Takes a different man to own up to a mistake there and then on the moment. But anyway, after some research, we go into this free practice session trying a different style, and as you can see in that first corner, rather than braking and then lifting off the brakes and trying to coast more around the mid corner, you want to kind of keep on the brakes and not really let go of the brakes, because in that way the back end doesn't step out as much. Once you let go of that brakes and you start coasting around corners, the back end just wants to slide around. And as you can see, going up into this corner especially, you kind of want to get on the power, get the gap between braking and power as small as possible, because the more you lift off and the more you coast, the more your back end wants to step around. So stay on that power, stay on that brake, and then as soon as you get off the brake, you want to try and press on the power as quickly as possible here. So heading down through this top section of the track, heading uphill now, well, 15.3 is decent time actually, quite happy with that. Going through this left-hander here, we've got to make sure that we stay on track. We do, we actually stay really nice on track and get a really nice exit. Going down into the final hairpin here, braking at 100 metres, down to third gear. You want to hit the apex nicely, we actually kiss it, we actually pretty much nailed that final corner here, final braking zone, sorry. And going through the final corner here, I wanted to take the ghost off because I wanted to make sure I nailed the corner, because you can actually get flat through if you nail it perfectly, and we do. And as we turn the ghost off here, we turn the ghost back on, you can see we just gaining time over time over time, and a 51.4. I was very happy with that, and that put us in the top 500 for the global rankings. At the time, top 500, I was actually quite happy with the lap, and it's only a couple seconds off of the top guys. And in the next race, in the qualifying, I actually almost replicated the lap, and that's put us in a solid P2 position. For this start, I wanted to try TCS off the start with first gear, and it actually works. Got a really nice solid acceleration off the line, no wheel spin or anything, and it actually put us side by side with France going up to turn 1 here. We've got 3 people going 3 wide behind us. We've got to be wary, don't get hit by them. We try and go down the inside, but France actually kind of brakes and stops in the middle of the track, so we end up hitting him. And in doing so, we pushed him forward and got overtaken by Verdu, the Spanish driver who's in front of us now. We're literally sandwiched by 2 Spanish drivers, so we tried to go around the outside of Verdu. British driver's gone a bit deep, kind of ruined his line a bit. But it's actually really hard racing right now between the 2 British drivers and the 2 Spanish drivers. Staying in behind Verdu here. These like first few laps, I'm going to pretty much play out the whole 3 laps here, because it's a really intense battle all the way up until the end of about lap 3 or 4. And heading up the hill here, we have getting in the slipstream of the Spanish driver, who's in the slipstream of the British driver. We go to the outside to try and push the Spanish driver to the inside to narrow his entrance speed. We kind of overshoot it, try to do some interesting overtaking style, drift style overtake, but that doesn't quite work, and we allow the Spanish driver, Furo, to overtake us. And now we just got to try and make sure that we don't lose any more positions, we don't lose touch to these top 3, because if we lose touch to these top 3, we can pretty much say goodbye, because they'll have slipstream. The Verdu makes a mistake on the fast left-hander here, and we take a nice easy entrance into this hairpin, because we want to make sure we get a nice exit. There's a slight touch on Verdu here on the exit of the hairpin, and that's allowed us to get side by side He's got the inside line. We've got to try and maintain speed, both of us. We actually really nicely give each other a load of space here. It's really hard racing, but really fair racing right now. Side by side, going across the start-finish line to start lap 2. And you got the Go Show, the Italian, coming up my inside. Braking out just before 100 meters, braking a bit earlier, a bit later than the Italian, and that's allowed us to get a nice lunge ahead of him and squeeze him off before the corner. And that was crucial because the Go Show, if you may have noticed at the start, he started in P8, and the people behind him all started ahead of him. So I kind of know at this point that I need to stay ahead, but he's actually lunged down the inside here. It's actually a very opportunistic move, and that's an area that I need to improve on. The opportunistic moves, trying to cover them off or trying to keep an eye on them, because I didn't see that coming until very late and I couldn't really do anything to stop it. But I now know that the Italian here is not, compared to based on qualifying, I know I'm quicker than him, so I know I need to get past him because I don't want to get caught up in a battle, because that will just end up in me losing places and time. The Italian goes really defensive on lap 2 here into the hairpin. We try to do a switchback, but he's actually covered it off really nicely. And this defending really shows me that if I can get past him, he'll start defending to the people behind, and that I'll be able to create a gap. And then from there on in, I can just try and build a gap to try and consolidate P3. So we're going into this fast left-hander. He doesn't quite nail the entrance to the corner. Doesn't hit the apex. We get alongside him, squeeze into the outside to make sure that we got as wide of a line into that hairpin as possible, and we managed to get past him. He managed to maintain P4, so that's kind of worked out quite well for us. We want to try and break the toe here up the hill for this, so he doesn't overtake us. But I'm gonna go now, and I'm gonna let you listen to a full lap here because this next lap is really nice. So there we have it, a great lap there, 52.4. Actually really happy with that lap on during race trim, because the car's completely different to free practice and to qualifying. So to be able to do that was really, really enjoyable. And that was basically the race. I finished in P3, managed to keep the gaps to the guys ahead and behind me, and just finished a nice solid P3. After doing that sort of like experiment, doing a bit of background research into other replays of other cars and stuff, that really helped me. After finishing, what was it, 8th and 10th respectively in the first 2 slots, that tactic really changed my race and allowed me to get into P3 for this one. And I decided I'd take that rather than try and keep going on and try and get better. I took the P3, and that allowed us to get a nice solid about 160 points, which you'll see in a second here, as our drivers absolutely thrilled, that clap into the crowd. Hello, thank you very much. Absolutely thrilled with a P3 there. As you can see on the right hand side here, it will show up our score, and we get a points earned of 160, and that puts us up to 330 points for the Nations Cup so far, which actually I'm quite happy with. And as you'll see here, it puts us in 45th in the UK and top 300 for the region, which, considering the level I am, I'm new to A, fairly new to A, I'll take top 300, 100%. As you can see, we're going down here, looking at different people who are down around us. As you can see, we've got Cool Dawn, who I've raced multiple times before, and I've seen race other streamers such as Irias and Rory. And also Hogston as well, who I was racing quite a few times. I raced in Nations and also Manufacturers as well. Yeah, and then going down to 300 here, yeah. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you all for watching this video. Hopefully, in the future, if we get another Suzuki VGT race, you'll be able to take this tip, and hopefully that'll hopefully improve your lap times and stuff. But yeah, if you've liked this video, please press the like that button down below. That would be greatly appreciated. If you want to subscribe as well, that would be fantastic. Don't have to if you don't want to though, don't worry. Notification bells on if you do though, that would be great. Also my Twitch, I stream these races on Twitch as well, so if you want to go down and give my follower Twitch, I'll leave a link at the top of the description as well. But thank you very much, guys, and I'll catch you all for another video later. Peace out.